break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
And we're live in the
Are
Eagles
you
studio.
not entertained? We take a day off, and he who shall not be named shall be named.
Indeed, Aaron Rodgers, breaking news. The former Green Bay Packer will now be a New York.
Jets, Jet.
All right, it is finally done. And here's the haul. All right, so the Green Bay Packers trading Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. They will swap first-round draft picks. So the Packers move up to 13. The Jets move down to 15.
I believe a forward-thinking man once told you that.
You did indeed. Also, there will be one of the second-round picks in this 2023 draft belonging to the New York Jets will be moving on to the Packers. We don't know which one yet, correct?
42.
42. Okay, number 42 overall goes to the Packers. Also, you're giving up a conditional second-round, first-round pick next the following year in 2024.
Yep, that's the thing that I didn't think was going to happen, and I will admit when I was wrong. I was specifically told that they were not going to do that. Now, here is what changed in the thinking with that. The New York Jets are looking at this saying, if he plays 70% of the snaps, we are going to be one of the 10 best teams in the NFL.
Yes.
So, it just okay. I'll be honest with you. I knew we were off today, and so it would be. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen today. I thought it was going to happen tomorrow, but I have no problem here. You know what, Packer fans, you got what you wanted. Full rebuild has begun with Jordan Love. You'll see if that's the guy, and if this works for the Jets, then you get the first rounder that you desperately wanted. Zion says we got that first. Well, not necessarily, because if things don't go our way, it's a second rounder.
I mean, you did look, kept pounding the table saying we're getting 13. Well, you got 13.
You got 13,
but you had to
gave
give up 15.
Which
right.
I said that a while ago that was probably the concession. I did not think that they would come off that first round pick. Now, I will say what I'm getting ready to say to you is completely spitballing, because we got on live as quickly as we could. I will bet you any amount of money you want that Woody Johnson sat down with Aaron Rodgers, whether it was on the phone, I don't know, and he said, I'm playing at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because Woody Johnson completely freaked out when he said he was 90% retired going into the darkness retreat. The only way the Jets backed off of this is if they know they have a 2-year window.
Absolutely. And that was never not happening. I never saw a window where Aaron Rodgers would come in, be with this team for a year, and then go, yeah, I'm done. I mean, think about how far this team could go if everything clicks right.
100%.
And it's going to be up to Aaron to make that all happen. If I were the Jets, I would want assurances that he's going to be there for the offseason program, that he's going to be invested in building a rapport with Garrett Wilson and all the wide receivers. Like, I don't want Aaron Rodgers that was with the Green Bay Packers last year. I don't want a guy who's going to wait until 2 weeks before the season starts and then show up.
And I'm going to say that you probably got some form of concession in this, because the thing that people tend to forget about type A personalities like Aaron Rodgers, they really love proving people wrong. And now you've got the opportunity to do that. You're going to come in with the Jets. I'm not going to lie that it's probably – where do you put the Jets now in terms of teams in the AFC?
Ooh, off the top of my head, probably like 5-ish.
So you're that low. I'm probably not that low.
Well, I know you're not that low.
Well,
we're better than the Kansas City Chiefs now. I still feel like Kansas City is better. I mean, there are a few that could be better. Aaron Rodgers changes this. We talked about this over the weekend in our group chat of, who's doing the Tampa Bay thing. We were talking about Philadelphia at the moment, but I feel like New York is doing the Tampa Bay thing. You go out and you get that Hall of Fame quarterback, come in, be really good for 2 years, 3 years max. and we'll see what happens after that. But you're going to be contended for Super Bowls in those 3 years. You have the defense for it. You have the weapons for it. Now you have the quarterback to go along with it. That's why I always said it was never not happening.
I never feared that it wouldn't happen.
He was never not going to be with this team for more than a year. And honestly, if I'm looking at this from Joe Douglas's perspective, whatever the fuck it takes to get it done.
Bingo.
And yes, we are not on the FCC airwaves,
Correct.
so I could say that. But honestly, I mean, I don't care what I have to give up. I mean, I didn't go completely crazy and give up multiple years of first-round picks. I discount this year's because you said what? It equates to the difference between 13 and 15 as a third-round pick.
Late third, yeah.
100% I'm in for that. There's no chance that he's not going to play at least 65% of the snaps, which is the threshold for them to get the first-round pick next year. Barring injury, there's no way that's not going to happen. This is not going to be a scenario. I can't imagine a scenario where this is like Carson Wentz. Remember when he went to the Indianapolis Colts and he had to play 70% of the snaps for the pick to go up or down, and they were just like, screw this at the end of the season. Let's just bench him.
All right.
That was never not going to happen.
This is a direct quote. I cannot tell you who this is from.
Okay.
Aaron's playing 2+ years. 2+ years. 2+ years.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like with the way Joe D drafts, we can make up for the difference.
So whatever you're going to lose out long term with paying him, because that's going to be the big conundrum here.
I guarantee you he hoarded himself out, too.
I want to know.
I guarantee you that money got way less.
I want to know what the money's going to look like, because part of the report is that Rodgers will sign a revised contract with Green Bay to make this trade happen. So we'll be excited to see what those numbers look like. Probably by the end of the day today, we'll have some picture of what those numbers look like.
Look, it
will take a day or two for this trade to be submitted to the league office and all of that.
This is a win.
Absolutely.
This is a win. I could now argue the Jets have the best quarterback in their own division. I could argue they have the best running back in their own division. You tell me where I'm wrong.
I mean, Josh Allen is close to Aaron Rodgers.
Would you take Josh Allen right now over Aaron Rodgers? For this year. 1 year.
Yeah, probably. Just for the sake of he's been with his team.
I wouldn't, solely because of the weapons that you have around here. I could argue you have a top 5 receiver.
Which Buffalo has.
Well, yeah. And you have the best defense in this division.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And there's no reason
I like
not
it.
to.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Do I love that they gave up a first-round pick? No, I don't. But I'm also looking at a guy in Joe Douglas that just came off probably the best draft class in Jets history. You got 4 long-term starters. I feel like Rodgers probably is going to take some kind of a discount. I don't know what that's going to look like. And you're making a push for a Super Bowl. And just think about the difference in how you're looking at the New York Jets right now than you did 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
And you want to know why we pour so much time into the NFL draft? That's why. Because in 1 year, you managed to take a just horrific boo-boo with Zach Wilson and flip it. And I will tell you this. There is a belief around One Jet Drive that 1 or 2 years behind Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson will be the quarterback that he was supposed to be, because it's an immaturity thing.
Maybe so. I can't comment on that because I'm not inside the building. All I know is Zach Wilson was god-awful.
He was awful.
And I cannot rely on Aaron Rodgers to teach him anything, because I don't think that's what Aaron Rodgers is in it for.
Zion in our YouTube chat, of which, first of all, congratulations on getting the first rounder. I will admit that I was wrong. When I'm wrong, I will admit it. Said Garrett Wilson's maybe a top 10 receiver. Okay, I didn't phrase this well. I meant top 5 in the division. Because I would put him behind Tyreek Hill. I would put him behind Stephon Diggs. I would say he's right there at Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
And don't be shocked if you see another weapon. I'm telling you, I've heard it.
Is this DeAndre or?
I don't think it's DeAndre Hopkins. There has been a lot of smoke around Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't really buy that, but the move down makes it make sense. Because, all right, so and I'm the draft nerd, so I'll just go ahead and tell you. The first thought I had is, what does this change for your draft philosophy? Because now I've been told the entire time that you're going into this draft with the intention of getting a tackle. Well, you already have Dwayne Brown. You already have Mekhi Becton. I can tell you you're not getting Skoronski. He will be off the board. Mm-hmm. I feel like Paris Johnson will be off the board, and it could be to the Green Bay Packers. And I think if New England is forced to make a pick at 14, it very well could be Broderick Jones. They're not taking Andon Harrison. If they get backed into a corner, I'm not going to be shocked if it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. It makes a lot of things make sense. Zion said the Packers are getting Jackson Smith and Jigba. That would be the ultimate middle finger of, hey, now that Aaron's gone, we can take receivers in the first round.
Yep. Oh, you got to do something. You got to do something to help Jordan Love. I mean, for God's sakes, this kid, I mean, he stinks on ice. He is terrible. And they know it.
100%
But they had to move on because Aaron just made it an untenable situation.
100%. I mean, look, this is a win for all parties. I am now looking at the New York Jets as a legit Super Bowl contender. Legit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could it blow up in your face? Sure. Sure, it could. Stephen Tao asked if I had submitted my mock. So in our Discord server, which you can join by becoming a member of the House of Reprehensibles with that join button right below our heads, I put out my 31-pick mock draft that I am submitting for the media contest. And this morning, I said I'm so confident in it, I kind of want to submit it right now. I did not do that, thank God. What does it change? Green Bay was one of the toughest reads in the first round anyway. And I really don't know that it changes much for Green Bay. I mean, I had them taking Dalton Kincaid, so I had them taking a weapon. I don't know that you would do that at 13.
Maybe they would. Maybe they got ahead of New England to do that. There have been rumors that they want a tight end, although they already have two of them.
Yeah,
so
I struggle to believe that. And frankly, I'm looking at the guys. I'm looking at my list of players that they've had in. I'm not really seeing a guy that you can get at 13 that you could not have gotten at 15. I don't think they're going to take a tackle. That would really surprise me.
Unless that's the goal. Unless the goal is a tackle and they wanted to get ahead of New York.
Well, the only one and that's possible.
Because they know that the Jets have been tied to every tackle.
They have.
So maybe the tackle is the spot. This is the long-term fix or replacement to Bakhtiari or whatever.
Could be. I know they were attached to Darnell Wright. He was on a top 60 or on a top 30 visit. He's just not going to be there. That's who the Bears are taking at 9, and I feel pretty sure of that. This does not change anything there.
Mm-hmm.
So could they take Jackson Smith and Jigba at 13? I would. Yes, it's a possibility. I guess I'm just looking at your receiver core going, the oldest guy in that room is 24 years old. That is a lot to heap on Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, maybe, to be honest with you, maybe that's the goal. The goal may be that this is a blip year. We're going to have 2 first-round picks next year. And I'm going to be honest with you, now that I'm having the chance to digest this,
now that he actually believes it's going to happen.
We got on live as quickly as we could. Now that I'm digesting this, I'm realizing how much of a win this actually is for Green Bay, because you can throw a couple young guys out there this year knowing this is probably not going to go well. Next year, you have 2 first-round picks. If it goes as badly as I think it will, you're picking in the top 10 anyway, and you got an extra first-round pick to go up and get Caleb Williams or Drake May. Mm-hmm. This is a friggin' win for the Green Bay Packers. I think it's a win-win for both. I don't really care about the trade compensation. I don't. Now the question is, if we take another day off, could we possibly get the other one that shall not be named?
Oh, man. So it finally gets done. Aaron Rodgers goes to the goes to the New York Jets. Jeremy can finally believe it. And now you can hopefully sew up the mock draft.
This has definitively reminded me why you always push to as far as you can. So, I mean, look, this has increased the interest on draft day. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here. This is throwing a little wrench into the cog. Zion said we definitely won this trade. I can't tell you definitively that you won it. I don't think there's any losers here. For me to say somebody lost a trade, one of these two teams can win a Super Bowl right now. One of them can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to say that loses. I think this is just a win-win for everybody. Do I love that you gave up that much? No, but I go back to the unnamed source that's, let's say they're close to the proceedings, shall we?
Yep.
It says we believe Joe Douglas can make up for it because he's a really good drafter.
Mm-hmm. Right. You believe that Joe Douglas can make up for it in the drafting. I don't know that the Green Bay Packers can. See, that's where I'm at with them is I don't know if this is going to be a win for you because now you have lottery tickets. And you have to cash those lottery tickets in.
But lottery tickets are – look, to be honest with you, scratchers are one of the best things you can have in the NFL. Straight up. Because that gives you hope. Mm-hmm. Because, all right, so just think about the psychology of this if you're a Packers fan. This is the reason that I was so adamant that you're going to get this done and this we'll call his bluff. All right, so let's say you had done that. You go into this year knowing damn well he's not playing for you. He's already made that perfectly clear. Mm-hmm. So you eat all the money. You don't have anything for him. And you watch Jordan Love just blow dead bears for an entire year. Well, then what do you have to be excited about? Now, this way, you go in with 2 picks. You know that next quarterback, this will be the first year that you haven't definitively had a quarterback in 25 years. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way it was always going to be.
Right.
You boo-boo kitty the Jordan Love pick. Now, he gets the chance to correct me on that. And if he does, awesome. Now you got 2 first-round picks to build around him. If not, go get it.
So the trade comes almost 18 years to the day, just a little over 18 years to the day, that Aaron Rodgers was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Now the Super Bowl winning quarterback makes his way to New Jersey.
Oh, that felt good. Is it weird that Aaron Rodgers is already the greatest quarterback in New York Jets history?
No.
He hadn't even put on a hat yet?
No, it's not. It's the same thing with Tom Brady. When Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, I told you he didn't even have to take a snap. He was the best quarterback they've ever had.
Well, I mean, you just got to understand, this changes so much for these. This changes so much for these two franchises. To me, it sets Green Bay on a perfect. It sets them in a perfect trajectory for the rebuild. Mm-hmm. This makes the Jets arguably a top 3 most interesting team in the NFL.
To me, the question with Green Bay now becomes, how uncomfortable does the rebuild become? How many of these, long-term Packers are going to be upset because they're on a sucky team?
Well, I mean, you got to understand,
open the floodgates,
you don't have a lot of those. I mean, who are the veterans that are going to be upset by this? Bakhtiari, who's got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel anyway?
Jair Alexander.
Alexander's like 27 years old. Mm-hmm. I think you'll be fine. All right, you've been competitive your entire career. I think you'll be just fine. I mean, look, Green Bay's got a really nice foundation for a rebuild anyway. And they could be the team we're talking about a year from now as the wild card. You're a quarterback away. You're the team if I'm Drake May, if I'm Caleb Williams, that's the team I want to go play for because you got all the pieces in place. And now the more I'm saying this, the more I do understand the thought of going Jackson Smith and Jigba at 13. You get him in the room. If he's a hit, he's a hit. If he's a hit, you got your top 3 receivers for when this team's back on track.
Mm-hmm. Again, Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets. It took a pick swap this year, 13 for 15. Packers moving up, Jets moving down. A second-round pick this year at pick number 42 goes from the Jets to the Packers. Also, a 5th-rounder, 170, is involved in this trade. And a 6th-rounder, 207, involved in the trade. And then you've got the conditional first-round pick next year. And that's hinging on Aaron Rodgers playing at least 65% of the snaps, which there's no shot he won't do.
As long as he's healthy.
Right.
And that gives the Jets some protection in case he were to get hurt.
But now that you got Aaron Rodgers in New York with the pieces around him, that could definitely be a, bottom 5 of the first-round draft pick next year.
It could be, and if it is, there won't be an unhappy Jets fan in the world.
All right, our little impromptu live here in the Ingles studio. Always come to you from the Ingles studio. And, of course, we'll be back with you tomorrow live on ESPN Asheville.
And we will be
3 o'clock.
talking about this a whole damn bunch.
Absolutely.
We'll be talking about draft things, the latest things we're hearing. Always remember, this is the week that we call it Lying Week for a reason. So really be careful about the things that you listen to. The betting markets are going nanners. I can't wait.
Have a great evening. Back with you tomorrow.